Hi everybody, back to the channel, part of something real. I'm super excited. We have like 30 subscribers. Do you know for 9 months I had like 6? And in the last month I've gotten, 30 minus 6, 24. Okay, so yay, thank you for subscribing. Please subscribe. Okay, so today's video is so beautiful that I have very romantic um, uh, ambiance going on. Okay, um, just beautiful. So I'm gonna play this ambiance. Anyhow, this is a kingdom spouse word. So please get you a cup of cocoa, some chai. I mean, you need latte. You need something. To me, this is. I'm not a romantic person, you guys. Not really. I don't think so. I'm more spunk than that funk. Okay, but I mean, if I had a candle, I'd light it right now because this is very, very romantic. This is a whole aspect of God is romantic. I may cry. Okay, our Father is very romantic, right? Obviously, you guys, He created all this romance and couples, and so of course He would be. I don't know why, I just never think of God the Father as romantic, but when this happened, I was like, okay. So about a year ago, God showed me and my original kingdom spouse, um, yeah, no tears. And what it was He showed me what I thought was a figurine of a big eagle, and its wings were spread, okay, and then below it was its counterpart, a smaller female eagle. Now on the male eagle's breast feathers, chest feathers, there was like a smear of teal feathers. Now I think I did a whole video to this a year ago when it happened, and I talked about the spiritual meaning of teal, which I have completely forgotten. Okay, but we're gonna recap on that video right now to tie it into just a new word. Okay, so this video is going to be very romantic, and then it's going to flow into a warning. Okay, and then I have another video coming up later. So unless I can fit it in this. Okay, so when I saw the eagles, I said to the Lord, what? I was just like, wow, I instantly knew that the male was my kingdom spouse and I was the female bird, and the teal had something to do with him. The Lord showed me it as a figurine on an occasion table. Like a table you put a lamp on. So then I said to the Lord, what house is this? This occasion table with the figurine on it. Where is this at? Because sometimes you know the house in your vision, right? Well, this wasn't a house that I knew. So then the Lord shows me, this is how He answers me. He shows me like an 8 to 10 to maybe even 12-foot tall version of that figurine in bronze with a mason base, some kind of stone base, surrounded in a boxwood hedge. So I'm looking at that in the spirit realm like, oh my gosh. It was outside. It was an overcast day. And as I'm looking at that, like, oh, it's not really what? It's not a figurine. Or maybe there's a figurine version, but there's a huge life-size version of it that's like 10 to 8, anywhere between 8 and 12 feet tall, somewhere in there. So the camera backs out, and I see there's all these other statues, like the same scale, in a garden of just statuary. It is a private garden belonging to the Father God, commemorating kingdom spouse couples in the form of life-size bronze statues. All of them had a stone base. All of them were surrounded in different kinds of hedges. Some had a rose hedge around it. Some had like a camellia type of shrubbed out hedge. The hedges were different. The hedges were unique, and every statue was unique. Every statue. But many of them were um, birds. I believe that maybe the Lord will let me go there again. But I know that others were birds. Okay? And these are eagles. These are mighty. These are mighty birds. My God, today that just is hitting me again. I don't know why it's hitting me special, because they're birds, and I talk about birds on this channel. Yeah, but I remember having the knowledge that there were some statues that were not birds. That's pretty cool. Okay, so you guys, when you have that time with the Lord and you get in the presence of the Lord, maybe ask the Lord to show you his commemorative statue to you and your kingdom spouse's marriage. Okay, not made of plastic, not slapped together with glue and twine. If you go to a memorial garden, or just like a veterans memorial wall, you know, those are made of marble. Those are made of bronze. It's permanent materials, okay, that last a lifetime. And that is what it's mirrored in heaven. And that's why I say sometimes, like, things happen in heaven. Things exist there. And our world is like an echo of what is in heaven, okay? In heaven, though, the things that we try to create down here with technology and whatnot are like a sharp line compared to what it is in heaven. It's like a curvy line, okay? And down here, we would create a technology to replicate what is there, and it's more choppy. I don't know, but now we're going to go into the warning, okay? If you are waiting for your kingdom spouse so that you two can be united, I should play like an AC/DC song right now for this part of the video, but I'm not, because this is so pretty. Anyways, if you are waiting for your kingdom spouse and you think to yourself, well, we might be a year away, or I'm on one continent and they're on another, and it's going to take me a while to be able to get over there, and I got some fast action walking by me. I got fast action around me. That's what I hear the Lord saying, fast action. So you've got some, Debbie bar, you've got a ho-ho, you've got some like little, cupcake snack thing around you. Well, the Lord showed me that some of y'all have 6, 7 of those backed up, meaning that the enemy has a plan to stack these people up, that if you don't snack on one, another one's going to come right behind and get in front of you. If you pass on that snack, another one's going to come in from the side. Okay? So the enemy is playing 4D chess, children of the Lord. And he's got so many duplicates. That's what they are. They're just, give me the word, Lord. Facsimiles, okay? They are cookie cutter compared to the diamond that God has invested his own time, sweat, and tears in faceting out for you. There's a difference between rubies and diamonds. I mean, I do like me some rubies, but I mean, there's rubies and then there's diamonds, okay? Okay? Diamonds are deep under the ground. They're in volcanic areas. It is hard to get to a diamond, and some of them are under riverbeds. It's hard to find that diamond. And God takes the time. Jesus Christ, the master craftsman, takes the time chisel away and fashion and facet the diamond. He's done none of that for those pretty, beautiful, red hot, sexy rubies that are getting dangled in front of you. God has not touched those rubies. Now, yes, they're pretty, they're rubies, but they don't have a God investment. And when you snack on these women and men like they're treats, okay, this is what Jesus is doing, is he's just folding his arms and watching. Because, y'all, Jesus has invested time. Sometimes it's years. Okay? It could be 30 years. It could be a whole child of God's life that God has invested into caring for, protecting that person, keeping them alive, working on their character, working on their spiritual gifts, getting them all ready. And when you go do your Debbie snap attack and, you know, you munch on that ho-ho, you know, this is what you stand to lose. The purpose behind you and your kingdom spouse coming together. Financial well-being, health as a well-being, a loyal marriage, financial benefits for your offspring or your, you know, extra family, and the mighty positive effects that your cross purposes were going to benefit the world with. That's 6 things. This is what you stand to lose. This. So Auntie Nichelle is saying that according to, what book is it, Lord? Is it Ezra? When the prophet, I want to say it was Ezra, but it might have been Nehemiah, when he confronted the nation and said, y'all have married non-Jewish wives. He was talking to men in this instance, but this could be toward women as well. When he said, y'all have gone and married the wives of the Satanist cultures around us. Y'all have taken wives from the nations that follow Satan. Put those wives away. Right? They had to tell their wives. I did a video on this too. They had to tell their wives, I'm sorry, I got to drop you off at your mama's. And I got to drop these kids off too. So these men forfeited their marriages, forfeited their wives, forfeited their children. They had to forfeit all that. And that was just so that, I believe, so that Israel wouldn't be just cast aside, like thrown into the mouth of their enemy. So in order for them not to be thrown into the mouth of the enemy, they had to forfeit that relationship that they chose over a Hebrew wife. So I believe that God is, I don't know what God's saying, but I mean, I know that he's saying that this is what you forfeit. I don't know if he's telling these women and men out here who have snacked on the ho-ho, you know, and have grabbed at the ruby instead of holding out for the diamond. I don't know if you breaking up with the person that you are with, who is not your kingdom spouse, I don't know if by doing that you will have any gain, because the only way you can get back to this is if your kingdom partner is, you know, cool with it. You know, if your kingdom, but God gives everybody a choice. He gives us a choice. Now he gives us consequences if we don't choose, you know, his offer, and then he just moves on. He offers it to somebody else. Okay, so he will offer your kingdom spouse to another. I promise you that. So, you know, your kingdom marriage is in that mix that you're going to give up, unless the situation is that other spouse is forgiving and like, oh yeah, oh, you cheated on me, cool. because I've been cheating on you. So I mean, that could be going on. That could be going on where they're like, I've been waiting how long? That cookie looks darn good that just walked by me. So if that is the case, that's between you three, you, your kingdom spouse, and God. I don't know anything about that, but I know something, and that is this little part. I know that if you have a kingdom spouse that's like, no thanks, next, and they don't want to put all that in the past and go forward, maybe because they have just been holding out, waiting, really been the wife, been the husband. They have been in fidelity, in faithfulness, and have forsaken any other lover, and just in that waiting posture for their spouse. They may not be that forgiving. They may be like, nope, I want something else or nothing. So, so that's the warning message of the word. Yeah, that you really stand to lose a lot. You really stand to lose a lot. Let me tell you this: that ruby that you got a hold of, that ruby doesn't have any of the kingdom purpose. Because if the ruby doesn't even know the Lord, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Do you know the weight it takes? Those of you on this channel, do you know the weight? Do you not know the weight it takes to walk this out? Okay? And this, not everybody can do this walk and lift this weight. So if you have gotten a hold of a ruby, there's no way that ruby, because God has not planted these assignments, nor has he offered them to the ruby. Okay, I know this all makes sense, right? Right? If you know, you know. There's no way you could land on this channel, and if you are just like a normal person in the world, I can't imagine. This would all sound crazy, but if you're on this journey, you totally know. Okay, you guys, so have a great day, and I'll see you on another part of Something Real.